This is day 61, standard form. Today we're going to be talking about the standard form of a line. So our objective here is on the board. Let's all read the objective out loud together. Ready and begin.
I will be able to write the standard form of a line.
Okay, good. Okay, write the standard form of a line. So we know how to use the slope-intercept form of a line, and now we're going to use the standard form of a line. It's the same line, just different ways. Kind of like in where there could be the same person, but you might name them differently. Like they might have, you might say their first name and then last name, or you might say their last name and then their first name. Okay, good. It's awkward to say twice. Okay, so here we go. So standard form. Why do we use it? Again, x and y intercepts. If I wanted to graph using the x and y intercepts, the standard form is easier because I could set x equal to 0 to find the y-intercept, or y to 0 to get the x-intercept. So you get 2x plus 3 times 0 is equal to 6, and I could solve x is equal to 3. This is my x-intercept, okay? Or I could find the y-intercept by setting x equal to 0, and then you get y is equal to 2 here, okay? Okay, so this is why we use the standard form is to find the x and y intercepts so you can graph easily, okay? So it's the same as last week. So remember last week when we had I gave you a slope and a point, and then you used the point slope form, which is this, right? And we figured out the slope intercept form of the line. Remember doing this? Remember this part? Converting it from here to here, okay? Instead of going to here this time, this is the goal. Eyes up here, eyes up here. We're going to start the same thing, except we're going to go the opposite way. We're going to write down the standard form of a line, which is this, okay? Does that make sense? Yes or no? Okay, cool. All right, steps are up here. Standard form of a line, again, ax plus by is equal to c. So a is the coefficient in front of x, b is the coefficient in front of y, and c is the coefficient in front of, well, c is just a constant, actually. It's not a coefficient. Okay? Steps are on the board. If you're on the video, please pause here and write these down. All right, here we go. Numbers 1 and 2. Okay? So, numbers 1 and 2. Write the equation of each line in standard form. So, slope is 5 and negative 2, 4 is on the line. So, do I know a slope? Yes. I know a point. So, yes, I'm going to write this down so I know. I'm going to just identify my m, x sub 1, and y sub 1. And I'm just going to start with the point slope form. So, I'm going to put y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. And I'm just going to input everything just like last time. Okay? But am I going to go into point or slope intercept form this time like last time? No, we're not going to do that, so we're going to simplify this. So I'm going to distribute the 5. We got 5 times x is 5x. And they got 5 times well, this is like subtracting a negative 2, which is like plus 2. So 5 times positive 2 is positive 10. And then we got y minus 4, bring that down. So we're going to subtract y on both sides, putting the y next to the x, and subtract 10. And then I'm rewriting this, so y minus y is nothing. Negative 4 minus 10 is negative 14. Bring down my equal sign. 5x minus y, we're just bringing that down here. 10 minus 10 is nothing. So we got negative 14 is equal to 5x minus y. And I like to put in standard form, I'm going to take the right side of the equation and put it here. So it starts with the x term. So 5x minus y is equal to negative 14. And now it's in standard form. Okay? Does that make sense? Is this the same thing as slope-intercept form? Students, is it the same as slope-intercept form? No, it's not. Okay? Number 2. What do you notice on number 2 that's missing before we even start? What's missing? They don't give us a slope. So how do you figure out a slope? Turn to your group really quick. Tell them how do you figure out a slope? Okay, what do we do to get a slope? Yeah, use the slope formula. So we're going to identify x1, y1, x2, y2. And we're going to use the slope formula. So slope is equal to y2 minus y1. I'm just going to put my numbers in. Okay. So our slope is equal to positive 4. Does that make sense so far? Okay. And then I'm going to use the slope-intercept form, so our point-slope form to start this off. So I'm going to just identify x1 and y1, and I'm writing down my point-slope form just like before, okay? And I have every piece of information I need right there, okay? So now I'm going to start working this out, inputting or substituting the values in. We got y minus 2 is equal to 4 times x minus 5. Distribute the 4, we got y minus 2 is equal to 4x minus 20. Then I'm going to subtract y on both sides because I want the y next to the x. And I'm going to add 20 to both sides so I get all my constants together. When I do that, I get y minus y is nothing. Negative 20 plus 20 is positive 18. 4x bring down. The minus y bring down also. And of course I'm going to put this in the front. So 4x minus y is equal to 18. And that's it. Okay? Any questions on numbers 1 or 2? Okay? So the big idea, we're not going to slope-intercept form. We're going into standard form today. Alright? So what I'd like you to do, let's hear some talking. I want to hear some students teaching. If you're a 1 in your group, raise your hand. Ones in your group. Ones. You're a 1. Raise your hand. 1. Ones. Why don't you sit, you could sit either at this side table or this group here. Ones. Okay, ones are teaching the rest of the group about number 1. Okay, then 2s, raise your hand. All the 2s in the house. All the 2s, 2s, raise your hand. No, you're a 2. Yeah, 2 in the back. You're a 2. You're going to teach everyone about number 2, okay? Okay, ready, set, talk. All right, let's do a couple more here. I think we can get through this. Let's go to number 3, okay? Let's write down number 3, please, in your notes. Number 3, we'll do this one together. So we got slope is negative 1 and negative 2, 5 is on the line. So let's write this down. All right, let's talk to our group and think about a plan of how you would find the standard form on this line, okay? So everyone's talking with their group. Just a quick 10 seconds. What would you do to start this off? Okay, please end your conversations. All right, so what would we do first? Do we have a slope?
Yeah.
Okay, what's our slope, everyone?
-1.
Good, so let's write that down. M is equal to negative 1, and then we have our x1 and y1, right?
Yeah.
Good, so turn your name and tell them what equation you would write next. What's the equation you would write next? What? Good, point slope form, which is? Y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1, okay? And we're going to input these, okay? So y minus y1, we're going to do y minus 5. You're all working along with me, right? And then is equal to, what's our slope again, everyone?
5,
Negative 5. Oh, no, it's not negative 5. It's actually negative 1. And then we got x minus, what is x sub 1? It's negative 2, right? Make sense? Yes? Okay, awesome. So now we're going to work this out. I'd like you to work with your group to get the final answer, standard form. I'll give you about a minute. Okay, go. So on this one, you should distribute that negative 1, so it's going to be negative 1x, and distribute that negative 1 again. So it's going to be these two negatives. Negative 2 is positive right here, positive 2. So it's like saying negative 1 times positive 2, which is still negative 2. And then we're going to bring down y minus 5. We're going to subtract y on both sides and add 2. So we get negative 3 is equal to negative 1x minus y, and then switch sides. We get negative 1x minus 1y is equal to negative 3. Make sense? Did you get it right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you got it wrong, why don't we turn to your group really quick and explain where you may have made a mistake and how you could fix it? Go. One more time, let's go do number 4. Okay, number 4. Let's have you do it with your group, okay? This one's just like number 3, it's just a little bit different, okay? Ready, set, go. This last one. First thing you should do is figure out what the slope in x1 and y1 is. And you're going to use the slope-intercept form, okay? Once I saw you do this, input the numbers, and then you get the following, right? You got to distribute the -3. -3 times x is -3x minus 3. Y plus 2. Watch, I'm going to subtract y on both sides, and then I'm going to add 3. So we got 5 is equal to -3x minus y. Switch sides to -3x minus y is equal to 5. So,
Wait, why isn't it 0?
what do you mean, y is what, not 0? Y is what, not 0?
Alright.
Do you figure it out?
I get it.
I want you to look at it, okay? Let's all check your own work now. Some of you did get it right, so talk to your neighbors. Where did you make a mistake? Where did you get lost?
What is it? What?
Okay, ready, set, go. Alright, anyways, I'm going to end the lesson here. So what I'd like you to do right now is the following. I'd like you to talk about these questions.